Welcome to Proven and Probable. I'm your host, Maurice Jackson. Today, we will identify a company that has proven management and are good stewards of capital. I'm speaking of Millrock Resources, a premier project generator trading on the TSX, symbol MRO, and on the OTC, MLRKF. Joining us today is the President, CEO, and Director of Millrock Resources, Gregory Beischer. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Well, thanks a lot, Maurice. It's great to talk to you again. Good evening.
Well, Gregory, before we begin today's discussion, for first-time listeners, can you please share what is a project generator?
Well, sure. We are geologists that have the ability, the creative ability to dream up new exploration projects, try to imagine where that next gold or zinc or uranium deposit could be. And we take some of the money that our shareholders entrust to us, and we use that to develop the project. But before drilling occurs, the expensive part of mineral exploration, we always get a partner to participate in the project. And that allows us to operate multiple projects at any one time, therefore increasing our chances of discovery success, but without continuously diluting our shareholders. So it's just really a way to increase the odds of discovery success.
Thank you for conveying that. And just to add to that, when you bring that partner in, what is that relationship called?
It's typically a joint venture or an option to joint venture. So the funding partner will cover all the costs of exploration up to a certain point. Maybe it's $5 or $6 or $7 million. And at that point, they vest, usually with a majority interest in the project, after which it will proceed on a joint venture basis where Millrock would contribute its pro rata share. But at that point, of course, the project is greatly reduced in its risk profile. In other cases, though, we've made agreements, outright purchase agreements, where the partner will immediately purchase the entire block of claims or will purchase it over time. Sometimes we've done agreements with junior companies where we've taken share positions in the junior company in return for ownership of our project.
These are great virtues, by the way. Often in the natural resource space, we hear the terms prospect generator and project generator. Are these the same?
They're essentially the same. I like to call Millrock a project generator rather than a prospect generator, though I would say prospect is the more common term. But, prospects are really quite common things. We try in our generative work to piece together very large land packages, district scale land packages that may have dozens or even more prospects on that one tract of claims. We've found that since most of our funding comes from major mining companies, that the district scale approach really appeals to them. And that's the kind of exploration we like to do as well. So I've always preferred to call ourselves a project generator rather than just a prospect generator.
And for investors, it's important to note that Millrock Resources has been hand selected by legendary investor Rick Rule to be one of the featured exhibitors at the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium, which is quite the distinction. This, in essence, puts Millrock Resources in an elite status. Can you expand on this narrative?
Well, sure. Yes, we've participated at the invitation of Mr. Rule over the last 2 years of that conference. And, we're really honored to be counted amongst that rather small group of 50 companies. He and others around him have invested quite a lot of money in our company. And we're darn proud to have them as shareholders. They know what they're doing. They know which companies to pick. They've got a great track record of picking successfully, and I'm glad that they've got confidence in us.
But that merit is not accomplished simply because of the value proposition afforded by the natural resource space. It's because of the people. and I recently had opportunities to conduct exclusive interviews with legendary investors Rick Rule and Doug Casey, and they both conveyed that their number one criteria for investing are the people. And Rick conveyed specifically that investing in the best of the best people will beat the best commodities. Now, Mr. Beischer, you have a decorated and proven career. Please share with listeners why these legendary investors trust their capital in you and your company, Millrock Resources.
Well, I think they took their time and did it carefully, Maurice. We've been in business for almost 10 years now, and we've continually executed on our business model through that entire period. Sprott Global, Rick Rule, and the Casey Fund have been investors in our company for about 5 years now. But we had to build our reputation and show that we really can and will stick to the chosen business model. There's really only a small handful of companies that operate our way, but they like the approach. They're willing to invest in it, but you have to really stick to your guns and operate just the way that you said you would, and we've done that. Prior to that, of course, my partner Phil St. George and I were employed by major mining companies. Phil at Kamenko, and then which became Teck. Myself at Inco. We came up through the ranks of these major mining companies and were mentored by very good geologists and learned our business there.
Thank you for conveying that. Millrock Resources has massive land packages strategically located in Alaska, British Columbia, New Mexico, and Mexico. Share with us the philosophy and the advantages of this geographical portfolio.
Well, sure. I'm at home in Anchorage, Alaska right now. That's a nice Anchorage sunset you can see in the background behind me. And this is where I really love to explore. It's certainly elephant country, and there's so many more great deposits to find, and we really like exploring here. But it's a seasonal exploration for early stage explorers, and so we balance that seasonality by exploring in Sonora State, Mexico, where we've become very active. We made a move into that particular state just over 2 years ago, and it's really starting to pay off now. And we're very active explorers there. British Columbia, the Stewart Golden Triangle Camp in particular, is also new for us. The geology and the terrain are not new. It's just like Alaska. And but it's a very, very well mineralized slice of the Earth's crust. And we've assembled a great land package there. And I can't wait to get going on it. We do also own a uranium deposit in New Mexico. This was more a target of opportunity for us. We just happened to notice that claims came open on an existing known drilled off uranium deposit that had been discovered and delineated by Gulf Minerals back in the 1970s. And whenever you can acquire a pretty large volume of metal simply for the low cost of a few tens of thousands of dollars, it can pay off. Honestly, it hasn't yet. Uranium's really been down, but we're contrarians. Like investors in the resource space, that's what we do in mineral exploration. We try to buy up assets when the cost is low, and take advantage when the cost is higher. And I'm pretty confident that at one point, pretty soon, the price of uranium is going to increase remarkably. And that hopefully will mean a big payday for Millrock shareholders.
Coincidentally, uranium is one of my favorite investments. I believe the value proposition regarding uranium is just phenomenal. Looking back at 2016, what are some of the defining moments for Millrock?
Well, Maurice, I think the whole year will prove to be a defining year for Millrock. Look, it was at the end of 2015 and early 2016 that we took some pretty big chances. We saw opportunities in British Columbia to buy up large tracts of very prospective land at quite low cost. Similarly, in Alaska, we bought up at what I would consider bargain prices, projects that in some cases already have known deposits of gold on them. And we bought an entire Mexican exploration company with about a dozen early stage projects in it. These were, I think, pretty bold moves for a company that didn't have too much money. And fortunately, investors like Rick Rule and the Casey Fund and others supported us. They were willing to write checks at what turned out to be the very bottom of the market. That's what they do, and that's how they make a lot of money. But we took our chances too, and as luck would have it, there is some luck to it. I think the timing is really working out in our favor. The early part of 2016 was great, and I'm pretty darn confident things are going to get better here again really soon.
You know, you mentioned that these are bold moves, but they're also very methodical because you're, in essence, you're running the show and you have the expertise. So I guess that's, well, I shouldn't say I guess, that's poor choice of words. That's exactly why Rick Rule and investors such as Doug Casey have so much confidence in you and Millrock. Now, let's discuss the company's goals for 2017. What are they?
There's two main goals. One goal is to have a drill turning on one project or the other, be it in Mexico, British Columbia, or Alaska, almost continuously through the year. In order to do that, we have to meet goal number one, which is get one or two more joint venture partners for our BC and Alaska properties. But looks like we're going to do that, and that might help us meet our third goal, which would be to become at least cash flow neutral or even slightly cash flow positive pure exploration company by the end of this year, which is not an easy thing to do. The reality is us geologists are much better at spending money than we are at making it. And so it's a rare exploration company that can actually break even and therefore be a continuous systematic explorer. But I think it's the key to success in this risky business.
You know, speaking of goals, just yesterday a new milestone was set with Centerra Gold. Please share the details of this exciting accomplishment.
It is an exciting accomplishment. Every time we make an agreement with a major mining company, it's like a stamp of approval. It increases our credibility, and we've done quite a few of those now over the years. In this case, it was a strategic alliance that was formed. Now, this happened, I guess we first met Centerra just over a year ago. They were introduced to us, and they were interested in Sonora, and we showed them a variety of the gold projects that we owned, and well, they liked two of them, and they almost immediately made option to joint venture agreements on those, and we've been working away on them all through 2016, the Los Chinos and Los Corrientes gold projects, very active on them right now. But I think they really liked our team, very solid technical team, and again, it comes back to the people, Maurice. I mean, these folks know what they're doing. They're very technically qualified and businesslike, and Centerra liked them, and so I think that's why they selected us as a strategic partner. So these alliances are great from my perspective. I mean, it turns out that to do generative early stage exploration, we don't now even have to risk any of Millrock's treasury. Centerra will be paying us to do book studies, paying us to do the earliest stage exploration, paying us to evaluate third-party properties, and working, I would say, collaboratively. They have some really sharp geologists too that have ideas on areas we should target within Sonora. And so it's a good two-way collaboration. And we're really looking forward. We'll have a kickoff meeting next week. And I'm really looking forward to some of the more advanced projects that I know are likely to spring out of this.
Well, I know investors are delighted to hear that. Let's discuss some potential catalysts that you see in the next 3 to 6 months.
Well, I think in a buoyant market, Millrock's shareholders are rewarded when we do form new agreements with other companies. The perception that we're going to be more active and that exploration is going to happen on our projects always helps. And so that could help move our share price up. But in the end, it really comes down to exploration discovery success. And to do that, you have to drill holes to test your ideas. And I think we're going to be doing a lot of drilling. Every drill hole is a chance that we're going to make that brand new big discovery that'll take Millrock from 50 cents to $1 and beyond. And so that's the main catalyst right there. Exploration success, but you have to be exploring in order to have the success.
All right, and last question. What did I forget to ask?
Well, Maurice, a lot of our ability to have the money to do the exploration, to have the success, relies on the general market altogether. And we had a good run up in the mining markets in 2016. The speculators started to come back in. Suddenly we saw that junior companies could raise money. And we didn't see too much from the majors, but you could tell that things were loosening up. Now, the end of the year, things slowed down a bit as the gold price receded or had probably what was a healthy pullback. But already, even though we're only a week into 2017, I think that we're starting to see a really good uptick. And I think we're going to see a repeat of last year. And that means that cash is going to be available to junior companies. They'll be able to raise money. We're prepared to make agreements on our projects with junior companies, taking share positions in them as part of the compensation. But most importantly of all, we've seen definite increase of activity and interest from mid-tier and major companies. They're inquiring about projects, and it's pretty clear that their budgets have been increased, and that bodes well for Millrock, since historically at least, so much of our exploration funding has come from the majors.
Well, thank you for conveying that. And Greg, if investors wish to have more information regarding Millrock Resources, please share with us the contact information.
Well, sure. You can go on our website, millrockresources.com, and the phone number is listed on the website. You can contact Melanie Henderson at our Investor Relations Department. But I'm also glad to speak personally with current and prospective shareholders, and Melanie can put them in touch with me.
And last but not least, please visit our website, www.provenandprobable.com. Through Miles Franklin Precious Metals Investments, we offer gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, offshore storage, and safe deposit boxes which are fully insured and secured by banks and self-directed IRAs. The website again is www.provenandprobable.com. Gregory Beischer of Millrock Resources, thank you for joining us today on Proven and Probable.
Thank you very much, Maurice.
Thank you for joining us today on Proven and Probable. Remember to like and subscribe for more conversations with the most respected names in the natural resource space. Check out our website at www.provenandprobable.com. The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.